Joanna, and I decided to make that video today because I wanted to share with you guys my weight loss journey, how it went, how I did it during quarantine, and wanted to share the experience and maybe a few helpful tips. I hope you enjoy the video. It's my very first one, but I'm really excited about it. So, first, two disclaimers. One, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't have any fitness background, nothing at all. So, it's just my personal experience, what I've learned through other YouTube videos, what I've learned by myself, what I experienced. So keep that in mind. And then the second thing is, it is awesome if you're trying to lose some extra pounds, but don't forget to take care of yourself and don't do anything too extreme. Losing a few pounds, no matter how much you're trying to lose, is not gonna fix all your issues in life. That I can say. So that was the two very important things I wanted to say first. And now let's get into it. So a little bit of background. As a kid, as a teenager, I was totally average. I was very normal, not overweight, not super skinny. In my later years, like as a teenager, around like 16, I lost a lot of weight. I ended up being 5'4", 90 pounds. I was super thin, very thin. I dropped, I believe, about 30 pounds, that would be. So, no reason. I mean, yes, I wanted to lose a little bit of weight, but I wasn't trying to lose that much. I just upped my exercise, had personal things going on in my life. I became more aware of my body, a regular teenage girl, I guess you can say. So I dropped a lot of weight, which I kept up until I was about 20. Now, I moved to the US when I was 19. I was my first year of college. I was very far away from home. I didn't know anyone. I was all over the place. Eating was the last things to do in my days. I didn't care for it. It was a rough time my first year when I first showed up. So I kept the weight off, and it's only when I turned about 21, I guess, it's when I started gaining. And so I slowly gained. I first gained like 10 pounds, and I was able to use those 10 pounds, so I didn't really care. I actually didn't look flat anymore. I had a little bit of shape, just a little though, because, yeah, no, I was super flat. I looked like a teenage girl. I looked like when I was 21, I looked like I was still 14. However, I kept gaining. I gained an extra 10 pounds. By the time I was 22, I was like 110, if not maybe like leaning towards the 120 at this point. It just slowly kept adding on, and up to like being back to 120, I didn't really care anymore. So I went up to 120. I was 22. I looked fine. I was okay. I didn't exercise at all. When I was a kid and a teenager, I rode horses. I did a lot of show jumping. So I exercised a lot on the horse, but also on the side to be able to stay on the damn horse. But during my time in the US, I had totally stopped exercising, nothing at all. Also, when I was a kid, I ate very healthy, which I didn't mention before. But when I came into the US, regardless how much I ate, there was nothing healthy in what I ate. From the ramen to burgers to taco shops to nothing really healthy. I reached 120 and I was fine. And then what happened? I had already gained 30 pounds within 3 years, about 10 pounds a year. I still looked okay. Again, I had some room. I had plenty of room, and then I kept gaining. I gained and I gained and I gained and I gained, and I ended up to 155 in 8 years. So now, though, during those from 120 to 155, I actually ended up yo-yoing a lot, going up, going down, going up, going down. I was not happy seeing my weight going up. That was my dog. So what happened is that I'll do those crash diet. It happened to me what happened to everyone, I feel like nowadays. I would, starve myself, do those crash diets, lose 10, 20 pounds, and then gain back 15, 25 pounds. Anyway, that brought us back to March. March, I was my heaviest ever. I had never been that weight at all in my life. I was 155 pounds, 5'4", 28 years old. Not really happy with the situation. So what did I do? I decided it was time for a change, but this time I decided I wanted a definitive change. I didn't want to go back to the yo-yo dieting. Now, every time I went on a diet, that's what I told myself. So I honestly didn't expect much, even if, you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it. And that's me, at least. I don't know you, but me, I'm like, I start something and I'm really excited about it and I'm really pumped and I do it right and I'm totally invested into it, and then, yeah, a month later I'm done, if I make it to a month. So this time I was like, okay, let's try it again. Now there's one thing that changed for me between all the other time is that I actually looked at real diets, like what can I try, what can I do. I did so much research. There are so many diets out there, like you can pick from like 1,000 different ones. The one I picked was a keto diet. Now, first of all, don't go jump and do the keto diet. It's very popular. Also, it's definitely not for everyone. So I would say, why did I pick the keto diet? It's because it seemed like a good fit, as I eat a lot of fatty food. In my home country, we eat with a lot of cream, a lot of cheese, meats, and so on. So I was like, well, maybe I can get away with that. Maybe, I can try and see what I can do, how I can make it work, if I like the food, if I have enough things to eat. So I decided to give it a try, knowing that I didn't have much hope. Once I did that, I actually went and got my BMR and what is it? TDEE. So I'm sure most of you know, but for the ones who don't, BMR, basic metabolic rate. So it's pretty much the energy your body used just to be alive. Mine came up at my height, age, and weight. Mine came up to 1,400 calories a day. And then the TDEE, total daily energy expenditure, was how much exercise you do. I put sedentary lifestyle, and I ended up with like 1,700 calories. So I decided that I was gonna cut the calories because keto. I know a lot of people think it's a magic diet because within 2 weeks you lose 10 pounds, but it's not magic. You still need to be in a calorie deficit. So I ended up deciding that I was gonna eat about 1,400 calories a day, which is pretty much my BMR, which would have cut about 300 calories a day from what I actually needed, being totally sedentary. To finish that subject, between the diet I picked and the calories I ate, I would say those are my two first advice to you. Research and find a diet that you think you're gonna like, that you think you can sustain, and that you think you're gonna enjoy, like for real, like you're gonna be satisfied with the food. So, and of course also know your calories, because for me, like, I understand some people are against counting, but counting calories was also counting portion size. And I lost like all of I had zero knowledge of what a regular portion size looked like. I was used to eat those like giant carne asada fries plates for like 3,500 calories a plate, and that's what I ate. So I didn't know what 4 ounces of a steak looked like. I didn't know what 1 ounce of cheese looked like. I had no clue. I bought a scale and I use a scale almost every day. I used it, I measured all of my food, and that allowed me to count my calories and also count my macros. Again, counting macros is not a requirement for the diet I personally chose. You better be counting macros, otherwise you're not gonna make it work. So that's what I did, and I would recommend, again, even if you are against counting, just do it to at least have an idea of how much food you're eating, like, how much calorie is in what kind of food. That's my advice, because again, 4 ounces of beef, of a steak, is not going to have the same calorie than 4 ounces of zucchinis. I don't know, it's not going to be the same. So those were the two first big advice. very important. That personally made all of the difference for me. We get into the third tip. Now it's regarding like I watch a lot of weight loss channel. I watch a lot of different YouTubers, fitness um, person, and I would say that some of them say, "Oh, you gotta, start right away, get hard into it, get the good habits right away," and some others will say, "Start slow." I will say it's totally up to you. I do believe that for some people it'll be a lot easier and a lot better to start slower. For me, I went all in right away. I didn't do low carbs right before to go into keto. I didn't do anything special. I woke up March 16, 2020, and I said, okay, it's good. I'm going keto. I have all the food I need. I'm ready to go. That's it. And I was not only I went keto, but I went like strict healthy keto, which means like sometimes you hear on keto they tell you like, oh, you can eat bacon, you can eat chicken wings, you can eat this and you can eat that, and yeah, that's true. I'm not denying it. However, I really went with like as much veggies as I could, as much fresh food as I could, less processed food, very very strict, very like to the extreme a lot, and I went and I dived right in. It worked for me because I'm someone who needs to see things moving. Again, I want to see results fast, and I like to get into things, as I said, very intensely, like right away. I don't really take my time. I'm not this kind of person. So that's what I did. It ended up working for me. But again, it's up to you to decide how you want to get into it. I know a lot of keto people first went like low carb. They slowly started cutting carbs out before actually going keto. It took them like 2 months to actually go keto. They still lost weight during that time. There was no big issues. But me, I went like, okay, well, yesterday I ate 2 burgers. Today I'm going keto. So it's really up to you how you wanna approach your diet, knowing that hopefully you're also thinking about how approaching your new lifestyle. Tip number 4, regarding cheat meals, the $1 million question of all diets, I feel like. Again, I would say it's up to you and it's up to your diet. For me personally, on keto, it's really hard to do like cheat meals because like if it's an actual like real cheat meal, like oh I'm going to McDonald's, it's gonna kick you out of ketosis, and it's gonna take you like 3 or 4 days to get back into it, more or less, and it's really a big pain in the butt. Now I did cheat on keto. I cheated like, and when I say I cheated for me, like oh I baked my own treats, and I actually didn't have dinner. I had 2 pieces of cheesecake that I made. So it really depends how you see cheating, and it really depends on your diet. Also for me, I try to stay clear from, since I've been keto, I haven't stepped a foot in a fast food. I went to a couple of restaurants. It's really easy when you're keto to make it work. However, for me, I know myself, and if I have one cheat meal, I have a second one, and a third one, and a fifth one, and a 20th one, and I'm back to 155 pounds. Yeah, that's what I do. Like once I start eating crab, I can't stop anymore. That's exactly what happened each time with my yo-yo dieting. I'm not good at it. I can't handle it right. It's for me, it's much easier to not cheat at all than cheat and getting back into my diet. That I can't do. I know I can't. Cheat meals depends what your diet allows, depends what you're comfortable with, and depends what you call a cheat meal. My definition of cheat meal has changed. I don't call a cheat meal going to Burger King anymore. I just don't go to Burger King anymore at all. So that's my advice. Like if you feel like you need a cheat meal or you're just gonna break down, have your cheat meal. If you feel you're like me and one cheat meal is gonna become 100 cheat meal, don't do it. Now, tips number 5, it's about exercising. Truth being told, I did not exercise at all during my weight loss, at all, nothing. For 2 months and a half, I was for a new job. I was in a different city. I was in Dallas, Texas, very far from where I live, and I was living by myself. I just took my dog with me. I left everything else behind, so I wasn't living with any roommates. I wasn't living with anyone. It was the beginning of the quarantine everywhere in the world, so I didn't exercise at all. I could have. I mean, you can do yoga in your living room. You can do some cardio workout. You can do some body weight workout. You can do whatever you want. Now, I would say though that I didn't do it, and I do believe that there is this famous sentence that says 80% in the kitchen, 20% at the gym. I think it's very true. I lost those 40 pounds just through food. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't exercise. Again, I'm just saying you don't have to. Now that I've been back to my house for about like 2 months and a half, I actually went back to horseback riding, and I'm also a little bit more active. So I don't exercise, but I'm active. I clean my car, I clean my house, I take my dog on a walk. I do whatever that like gets me moving. That's one thing. If you don't like to exercise and you don't know what to do, just get moving. Dance around, like jump around your living room with turning up the music, and that'll be something. That's my advice. Now, if you can exercise and there is something you love, that's awesome, do it. But I would say that just getting moving might make a difference for you. For me, it definitely helps. Like between, I always think like, oh, should I sit in the couch or I have the house to clean? And I'm like, well, I could have sat in the couch for 4 hours already, not doing anything because I'm watching YouTube videos. But at the same time, I'm like, well, if I clean my house, at least I get to move a little bit, like do something, and then I eventually, I clean my house, and then I take my dog for a walk, and then I start cooking, and then I end up doing a lot more, burning a lot more energy than if I just sat in my couch for an extra 4 hours. So it's not, again, I'm not running a 10K, but at least I'm doing something. So that's my point of view. Now, I would say though that if you're not into exercise, whatever exercise it could be, I would say try to find a hobby. A lot of people cope with food. When you're happy, you eat. I know I do. When you're celebrating, you eat. When you're sad, you eat. When you're angry, you eat. Like I've done it. Like when you're tired, you had a long day. You're like, I'm gonna sit on the couch and eat all of my food. Yeah, I do the same. Well, at least I did the same thing. So I would say a hobby, something to take your minds off food, would probably be very helpful. Even if I'm not active, if it's just painting, then just paint something. But again, if you're painting, you're not eating. So I'd say just find a hobby. That's something. My last and final advice is do not compare yourself to others. Do your own things. So a couple of things on that is, first of all, whatever diet you choose and whatever you decide to do it for, whatever goes on, someone is going to say something good, someone is going to say something bad. Maybe 5 people are going to be saying something good, maybe 10 people are going to be saying something bad. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you do it for you. Whatever are your reasons, they are your reasons, so do it for you. Whatever diet you choose, if it works for you, just do it. One of my roommates, since I've been back, has been making fun of me on keto non-stop, like almost every day. And like she eats cookies, like actual real cookies from Walmart in front of me every day. That's fine. I don't mind, and we joke about it. Like she's not mean about it. But the thing is, people are gonna have things to do. My grandma in my home country, when I explained to her my diet, she was pissed. She was like, "Oh my God, you're gonna starve to death." So people are going to be criticizing whatever you do, so just do it for you. And again, don't compare yourself to others. Do it at your own speed. If you see videos telling you like, oh, you can lose 10 pounds in 10 days and you don't make it, that's probably normal. Most people don't make it. It's like everyone is different. Even if you have, like, let's say a twin, you are the same height, same age, same everything, same weight, like starting weight, you still might be different after like 3 months. One of you might be losing 15 pounds, the other one might have lost like 18. Like everyone is different. Bodies are different. So again, I would say just do your own things. Go at your own pace. Do what works for you. It's really the most important thing. Like right now, I just don't care what people tell me. If they tell me congrats on your weight loss, awesome, thanks. If they tell me, oh, you're crazy, you're doing keto, I'm like, well, it works for me. And that's it, just move on, just do your things. For me, it has made such a difference, a very, very big difference. So I hope you will be back, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Thank you for watching.